rapid outbreak of a novel coronavirus disease has caused a major global economic collapse, which is COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has spread with alarming speeds, infections millions, and bringing economic activities to a near standstill. It has prompted countless companies to close their office and offer employees the options to work remotely. The mass were already adopting e-commerce platforms, work from homes, and online businesses during the COVID-19 crisis. Work from home is a concept in which employees are working from home instead of going to their workplace. It's a way of working that allows employees to perform their usual job functions from home, employs technologies and communication equipment that allows, for instance, communication in any place at any moment. Work from home at first sounds excitingly, but it comes with countless challenges, and at the same time, it will become a norm today for workforce. Companies have already expensed the fixed cost of setting up teleworking technologies for their employees. But work from home effects will evolve into a new ways of working that allows people to execute things outside of traditional workplace. While working from home has its advantages, it also has drawbacks. Work from home revolution is having a particularly pronounced effect on some group within the workforce, which 67 says that being always on has significant negative impact on their health and well-being.
Real cases related to the issue.
This slide shows percentage of work from home. 65% of Malaysians are working from home during the pandemic. This is higher than the global average of 52%. 63% of Malaysian workers find it difficult achieving work-life balance. Furthermore, 57% of workers feel lonely and isolated while working from home. However, 69% of workers prefer to keep the work from home option even after the movement control order is lifted. The survey also showed that 56% of business owners are supportive of WFH arrangement. 64% of respondents face challenge while work from home, with top concern being network issues, communication barriers, and lack of technologies readiness. So it will lead on the impact on the attitude and behavior of employees. There are 4 impacts that could be happening. First, employees will be stressed. Okay, if employees work from office, they have co-workers and team. If workers do not have or have difficulties in understanding the work or the job, they will ask directly from co-workers. But if work from home, they find it difficult to contact with co-workers. Difficult for the employees to concentrate on the work if doing work at home. Some workers have family, and every workers have different family environment. So if workers that have family problems or different environment at home, they will affect the quality of their job. Challenge with staff growth and development. If an organization work with a team, leader will find difficulties to supervise their workers or team, and the employees will find difficulties to improve their ability. And the last one is work from home is costly. Since work from home, employees and workers need to prepare their own equipment like laptop, computer, table, office chair, headphone, speaker, and so on.
Next, what can be done by employees, employer, and government? First, what can be done by employees?
Create functional work environment at home. It can be done by prepare a workspace at home. Prepare a workspace is home, like prepare a table, office chair, desktop, headphone, file, and our own space to work. This way can make workers and employees feel more comfortable, organized, and confident to do work. Next, work and personal time should be kept separate. Some of employees are mother, father, sister, brother, and even a daughter at home. So this role have their own responsibility at home. To avoid any distraction or problem happen during their work at home, make a schedule to make sure that everything well organized. And lastly, maintain consistent working hours. So it is very important for workers and employees make a schedule for their work time, because to make sure they do not miss their social life. For example, they work from Monday until Friday, they need to stick their plan. Do not overwork. It will cause stress.
What can be done by employers?
First, prepare for online cooperation. Employers are responsible to make sure their workers get the information that are given by employers. It can be done by providing a web-based session, and always keep in touch with employees to make sure they understand. Provide both mental and physical support. Employers can provide physical support like provide equipment, provide desktop, headphone to employees to make sure they perform on their job. For mental support, employers maybe can make a Google form every month or use any platform to ask about employees' mental health or mental issues, so employers can understand and give concern to employees' mental health.
Lastly is what can be done by government.
Government can implement SOP, which is Standard Operating Procedure or Policy. Policy is basically a collaborative document that establishes the rules and regulations of telecommuting between employees and business. So the government can make a policy on how employees and employers can work during work from home, or make a SOP, which is standard operating procedure, which is allow few percent of employers to work from their office, create a strategy of restricting the movement of people. It can be made by making restrictions or roadblocks to only a few employees, and authorized employees can work from office while the rest work from home. This is to make sure and to avoid the spread out of COVID-19.
Hi, my name is NUR-AIN Binti Hashim. I will present about the impact of the COVID-19 make work from home the new norm. Firstly, impact on the attitude and behavior of employees. Employees will be stressed because they will be working alone at home without any co-workers. Even though the employees can still video call with other co-workers, it is not the same and difficult, especially when the work requires them to discuss it in person. So, this will result in the decreasing of employee productivity. Aside from that, if the employee lives with their family, it will be even more difficult for them to concentrate on their work. It is because in order to complete their work, they need some space and a quiet environment for them to fully focus on their work. But because they need to work from home, they will surely facing some distraction. Due to this, employees' work performance will decrease since they are unable to focus. Next, challenge with staff growth or development. Employees are finding it more challenging to retain and improve their abilities because they will not be able to tell if the work they do is correct or incorrect since there will be no supervisor to supervise them. So, they must wait for the supervisor to respond to the message or call before they can determine whether or not the work was complete in accordance with their terms. As a result, compared to when they work at the office, this will take longer time for them to finish up their work. Lastly, working from home is costly. This is due to the fact that employees can utilize all of the equipment that their company has provided in the office to conduct their job before the new policy are implemented. However, following the COVID-19 pandemic, employees must use their own internet as well as other equipment, such as laptop and printer to complete their task or job, which this leads to a higher financial expenses for the employees.
Okay, so I will present about student recommendation on how to solve the problem and the explanation of advantages and disadvantages of each solution. Number 1 is listen to the music while working. The question is, does music really help us to work better? It depends. There is no yes or no in this question. Not everyone can listen to the music while working. But music do help us calm and relax while working by putting our mood to a better mood. Maybe that is not directly related to the productivity, but it shows that we can do a better work if we are not stressed, anxious, and also grouchy. However, we can get distracted if we choose the wrong type of song. We need music that stays consistent in its volume and beats. Number 3, request for allowance. When it comes to allowance, there is no disadvantages. Allowance can prevent employee by being burdened by many costs such as internet costs and also the other working necessities costs. It helps employees with financial problem by not increase their commitment. The employee also can work productively. Number 2 is working outside home. There is many suitable places to do work. For the example is coffee shop and library. Coffee shop and library has many advantages such as provide many facilities and also has beautiful environment. We can also do work while enjoying their food and beverage that they sell at the coffee shop. But it is quite costly. As we know, food and beverage that sell at coffee shop is quite expensive. We also need to bear the cost of transportation. Sometimes the places also noisy, so it will distract us. I think working at library is more better than at coffee shop. It has quiet and comfortable environment. It also provides many amenities such as printer and working space. Some library ask us to pay to use their facilities, but some of it doesn't even ask us to pay, but they ask us to register to be a membership. It is very economical. We just need to bear the cost of transportation.
Okay, now I will present about students choosing the best recommendation that have many advantages. So, we decided to choose recommendation about to request an allowance from Human Resource Management. Why? Because it can ease a little bit of the burden or the amount of money that needs to be spent. As we know, now we need to live in new norm. All the things now uses online, regardless of student or people who are already working. Basically, married people have a lot of responsibilities, especially in financial. For example, they need to pay their child's school fees, electricity and water bills, and so on. They also can just focus on the job, but also need to focus on other things. The example here said a lot of data need to be used. Before the existence of COVID in our country, employees use little data because most companies provide Wi-Fi in the workplace to make it easier for their employees to do the work. With the current era, the usage of data is now high because everything is working from home. For example, if there is an online meeting that uses Google Meet, Zoom and so on, this platform uses a lot of data to avoid problems such as reconnecting during meetings. Not only that, for those who have children, they also need to share data for their children to use during online classes. So, with this allowance can cover in terms of the purchase of sufficient data and can ease the expenditure of money that will be used for other things. The second example stated these are focused on jobs that use computer. Before this, they use their company's property computers to do work, so they were not required to have their own property's computers. Work for Home Father encourages the availability of own computers to facilitate employees to perform assigned tasks on time. It is also to be used during meetings, presentations, and so on. This allowance is one of the important things to have in this work for home. It can be used when purchasing a computer, possibly helping to cover 0.5% of the price of the computer. So, by giving allowance can ease the burden of employees to buy laptops, cost to buy data or other needs to be used in connection with the work that needs to be done. Not only that, it will also boost the morale of employees even when working in new situation. It also gives a positive outlook to company by giving consent to its employees. Therefore, with all the problems that can be reduced and do not cause worries, employees can do their work effectively and productively.
Business leaders in the post-COVID era have a big role to pay attention, pushing employees in the direction of the new technologies faster than before. So, human resources management will have to put in extra effort. During the COVID-19 crisis, employees will be confronted with norms such as working from home becoming permanent. When individuals were working from home, employable skill developments, employee stress during the downturns, work-families imbalance, and company's culture reinforcement were all concerns that need to be addressed by human resource management. It could alter the shapes and purpose of cities, affects genders, equalities, and even change how we think about this. Thus, the best recommendation in this study is to request an allowance from human resource management since it has several benefits as indicated.